Hey there, beautiful souls. Jess Intuitive Angel Healer here with your grounded guide to the spiritually awakened survivors of the toxic shadows. Welcome to my new YouTube channel and updated podcast channel, Spoken Like an Angel Enlightenment for My Survivors, where my prophetic words are meant to help stimulate so you can raise your vibe and elevate. Thank you so much for being here today. Today is July 22nd, 2023. And today is the episode is Understanding the 12 Laws of Karma and their universal power. So I hope just to, before we get into this, I'm going to be giving you an angelic message, which if you've tuned in for the past, we're on episode number 43. If you've tuned into them, you notice I give you a little, teach you a little something, maybe, something spiritual. I like to teach you a little something, then I usually do the messages at the end. That's 113. Somebody, that's an angel message for somebody out there. If you guys are enjoying what I do here on this show, please like, share, and subscribe. I've been having a spiritual warfare. If any of you are like myself, because a lot of these messages are for chosen ones, light workers. You don't necessarily have to be a chosen one if you don't use that term, but I work with the spiritual awakened here. And I notice when I'm talking to people, I notice that I have really good guidance, but the guidance only can be given to the capacity that somebody will receive it. And when you're in a spiritual warfare, also I've noticed that people so the darkness knows all your weaknesses and it's listening all the time, by the way. And that's part of spiritual warfare, is to mess with you. So if you have a healing issue of, I'll just go ahead and use me for example, because I don't care. I've had to work on my ego issue, and I've learned that I've had such an ego issue because when I was a young child, I've been groomed and prepped for this my whole life, but I've suffered through the, I think, extreme amount of gaslighting. Most people know that they're being gaslit before they're 40. People at my family, they did one like, high five, y'all are like official. If I could make you a trophy, official gaslighters of the universe. Because I didn't think anybody could hold up things for this many years and actually have interaction. I don't even think I've done that for people, but high five. Y'all go. Anywho, Dilly, I notice when I'm giving guidance to people, I I hit buttons that are sore, and I notice they're ego buttons. And like, so when people come to me and they ask, when's God gonna give me my money? I need this, this, and this. And sometimes I tell people, I tell them their guidance, and they get really upset that I'm not coming up with, it's coming tomorrow, it's coming in the form of, you know, you're going to get $40, you're going to get 2 10s and 4 1s, because I'm not coming at people that way. I've learned when you put it back on somebody to take accountability, like God is going to give you whatever is for you in this life. It can never miss you. It will always come for you, always. You'll never miss it. But if you're going out trying to get stuff that you just want because you think you need it, but you don't necessarily need it, that's when you don't get those things. Or if you're trying to manifest something into your life that isn't going to fit your highest good, because you can manifest anything. It's all about ask, believe, receive. It's a mindset. Thoughts are things. It starts here in your mind before it starts anywhere else. And actually, it starts in the 5D, because I got into like a really big miscommunication with a client the other day because it was confusing to me. They're telling me that they really believe in Jesus and God, but when it comes down to it, she told me we live in reality and I want to know where the money's coming from. And it blew my mind because you're telling me all these things about you that you are, and I'm telling you the money's going to come. You just don't see it yet. You're going to have to be patient. And it got to the point like there was just, we had to end the conversation, and it really bothered me because I don't try to put any kind of thoughts. My faith is my faith, your faith is your faith, but at a point when you're calling and you're asking for God to help you and you're talking to someone who really works in that department of helping to handle answer prayers, because I usually show up as an answered prayer to someone, it's mind boggling. Like, if it just makes me think, if we were to meet God, if God was to show up in your room right now, would you argue with him? Some people would say, I keep hearing, would you have the audacity to argue with God? You can argue all you want, but when God, I've noticed, because see, when I first started this, I thought, before I really started spiritually awakening, I really thought from an ego place, and things didn't make sense. But when I started opening up to the bigger picture of it all, we're all on, like, we all cause and affect other things. What my actions, I may not think that they're bothering anything, but we're all one consciousness, one all collective. That's why we call you the collective. So when my actions do actually affect you and others, and that's why certain things, you have to lose something to gain something, and unfortunately that's how it goes. But if you're willing to lose the things that you never needed in the first place, it doesn't feel like a loss there. So somebody needed to hear that out there. I think when we talk to God and we talk to spirit, you have to shift out of that 3D, because and this is where it got really confusing, because she said, well, we're in reality, and we're not we start here and then it goes up there, and it was, and it's not true. Everything, we got to start with God up there. We need to check in with God before we manifest out here. That's why we have tower moments. That's why everything goes, and we have to start back from square one, because we were doing it out of ego. We were saying, I want this, I'm going to do this, and I don't care. Well, that's good, and God let you have your time, but when it's time to actually, like, we have a little timeline that we're on, and we actually have things we're supposed to be doing down here, and we don't know when we're going to have the fingers snapped and all of a sudden it's time, but it's happening. And that's where you're going to have to understand that there's a difference between the materialistic world and the spiritual world, because God will give you everything you need, and you've gotten everything that you need. You may be missing a few things, but when it came down to it, if you really prayed and reached out for it and accepted the help that came in, I'm a testimony of the prayers that have been answered just by the power of prayer. But you can't expect to pray and then all of a sudden it to happen. That's where you've got to just know, if you asked, it's like picking up a phone, God, please help me. Okay, I heard you. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't always come in the form that we think we're going to get it either. So that's where the surrendering, the releasing, it's ask, believe. That's where the believing comes in, and then you receive. And you got to detach from the thing that you're wanting and just know it's going to be coming. And that's blind faith. Because I guess there's blind faith and there's shared faith, and then there's personal faith. But ultimately, if you have to make a choice on, who are you going to, if you're going to pray, you need to put your energy into that. But you got to pick a side, or learn how to integrate it, something like that, because you can't call on God to ask you but then live in a 3D world, because it's not going to come just, if you pray for a Mercedes, it's probably not going to just come like that. It doesn't, that's not how it works. Most of you know that. If I'm not going to keep explaining that because we're spiritual over here, but let me know your thoughts on that because I find it hard sometimes to give ultimately people spiritual advice when it comes to they want to live in a 3D non-spiritual world. So it's like, I don't know. I would love to hear my other healers' thoughts. So there's 12 laws of karma, and I feel like this is where education comes in for people for knowing these things, and then that's how, because you have to expand your mind. Most of us don't know this, but I'm just saying you gotta start being more mindful of what you're asking for and why you're not receiving it if you're not receiving it. There's a few things you got to go over. So the 12 laws of karma. The first law is, and this is on beinghappybuddha.com, and it says karma equals action. One can think of karma as the spiritual equivalent of Newton's law of motion. For every action, there is an equal action, but opposite reaction. When we exhibit a negative force in thought, word, or action, that negative energy will come back to us. And that is why it's called karma. And this is called the 12 laws of karma everyone should know. So the first law is the great law, or the law of cause and effect. As you sow, so shall you reap. To receive happiness, peace, love, and friendship, one must be happy, peaceful, loving, and a true friend. Whatever one puts out into the universe will come back to them. And so that's definitely why I say like attracts like. If you want a better vibrating, partner, you got to put it into you. That's why they say self-love is so important. So you got to put it into you, because whatever you're putting out there, if you're putting about a bunch of hate out there, 12 as I say this, then you're going to get a bunch of hate back. So the second law is the law of creation. Life requires our participation to happen. It does not happen by itself. We are one with the universe, both inside and out. Whatever surrounds us gives us clues to our inner state. Surround yourself with what you want to have in your life and be yourself. So, definitely the law of creation, you create your own reality. You have the law of humility. One must accept something in order to change it. If all one sees is an enemy or a negative character trait, then they are not and cannot be focused on a higher level of existence. You got the law of growth. Wherever you go, there you are. It is we who must change and not the people, places, or things around us if we want to grow spiritually. That's about changing your mindset. As we are given, all we are given is ourselves. That is the only thing we have control over. When we change who and what we are within our hearts, our lives follow suit and change too. And then you have the law of responsibility. If there is something wrong in one's life, there is something wrong in them. We mirror what surrounds us, and what surrounds us mirrors us. That is universal truth. One must take responsibility for what is in one's life. So that's why I say you got to take accountability. You can't just dodge responsibility. And that's why it's important, if you have a shadow side to heal out there, take accountability. It starts feeling better the more you just take responsibility. So remember the law of responsibility out there. Number 6 is the law of connection. The smallest or seemingly least important of things must be done because everything in the universe is connected. Each step leads to the next step, and so forth and so on. Someone must do the initial work to get a job done. Neither the first step nor the last step are of greater significance. They are both needed to accomplish a task. Past, present, and future are all connected. And then you got the law of focus. One cannot think of two things at the same time. That's like you can't be happy and sad at the same time. 1444, as I say that. If our focus is on spiritual values, it is not possible for us to have lower thoughts like greed or anger. The law of giving and hospitality is number 8. If one believes someone something to be true, then sometime in their life they will be called upon to demonstrate that truth. Here is where one puts what they claim to have learned into practice. So the law of giving and hospitality. So like I said, you have to give to be able to receive. So what are you going to give? You can give $1, you can give a compliment. You don't it doesn't have to have a number attached to it. The law of here and now, that's number 9. One cannot be in the here and now if they are looking backward to examine what was, or forward to worry about the future. Old thoughts and patterns of behavior and old dreams prevent us from having new ones. So you got the law of change, because you got to change things, right? That's number 10. That's why when you see 1010, it's about having endings and beginnings. History repeats itself until we learn the lessons that we need to change our path. Number 11 is the law of patience and reward. All rewards require initial toil. Rewards of lasting value require patient and persistent toil. True joy comes from doing what one is supposed to be doing and knowing that the reward will come in its own time. And then the last one on here is the law of significance and inspiration. One gets back from something whatever they put into it. The true value of something is a direct result of the energy and the intent that is put into it. Every personal contribution is also a contribution to the whole. Lesser contributions have no impact on the whole, nor do they work to diminish it. Loving contributions bring life to and inspire the whole. And it says karma is a lifestyle that promotes positive thinking and actions. Karma is not meant to be a punishment, it is present for the sake of education. How else is someone to learn how to be a good person if they are never taught that harmful action is wrong? A person only suffers if they have created the conditions for suffering. Namaste. I thought this was a really awesome article, and I'm putting this on there, 12 Laws of Karma. Everyone should know. And it's on beinghappybuddha.com. Definitely know that there's a whole rhyme and reason for your life right now. And if you're going through some really extreme spiritual warfare right now, or just some extreme issues in your life, know that it's probably tied into karma. You've been hearing all about this karma. That's why I wanted you to know the 12 laws of karma, so you'll understand when people are saying they're going through their karma, that is the laws of karma and what has to happen, the process. So let me know if you guys are enjoying this. I didn't get on yesterday. It's been a little bit heavy in the energy, but I went to a farmer's market, 1818 this morning. I went to a farmer's market and I got a selenite, little chunk of selenite wand, which is beautiful, for $3. And then I got to make my own little crystal bag for $1. Get out, get into nature today. Go do something that you don't normally do. I don't get up and I've never really went to farmers markets, but that was a really fun experience. And I got some really cool corn and some zucchini. I'm going to be making some yummy stuff. I'm going to go ahead and give you this message real quick, and then we're going to wrap this up. This is your angel message, and this is for my healers out there specifically, or if you're thinking about being a healer, you'll go ahead and resonate with this. So let me know how it resonates. Okay, so we have a certified yogi, somebody who's getting into yoga. This is definitely, or you've been thinking about it, this is definitely a confirmed life purpose for you. You're dedicated to the practice of yoga. You need to start taking classes and get certified. There's 4 major paths that you can go on. And also, if you're respectful, humble, generous, and compassionate, definitely part of your walk. I'm hearing you really need to meditate. Spirit has a message for you that you need to retrieve, that only you can retrieve in spirit, because it's not going to be on somebody else's like YouTube. So you can't go to a tarot reading and get it, and you need to get this. It's like a spiritual upgrade. and it has to do with your ancestors. Also, this has to do around your shadow work. Maybe you're afraid of being, maybe you got a lot of fear issues. You're afraid to face your fears. You're stuck in the past. But don't let the darkness trick you into moving back to karmic land. I'm hearing meditation and prayer and sound healing. Go to a chakra sound healing bath. They have them on Meetup. You can usually find a free one, or like maybe they're $5, but 1212 is significant for you, especially if you're a female. As I'm hearing, step out of your comfort zone. You are divinely protected and guided. And start and or create a new beginning. If you've been in hermit mode for a while, you're probably ready to meet your new partner, but you need to get out of your head. You've done the inner work and you're ready to meet your real love soulmate connection. So keep that mindset positive. You're about to be crossing paths with your twin, probably at a yoga meet, because this has to do with yoga. I hear that you're in your spiritual awakening stage 2, and this is the bliss stage. You feel connected. You're got this excitement about your new gifts. Your heart is awakening, so your love bomb's really on high, but you need to be conscious of your signs and angels. And they're saying energy givers are things like yoga and dance, sunlight, laughter, hydration. Make sure you guys are drinking enough water out there. Your angels actually use the water in your body to send messages. And if you're not drinking enough water, that's why you're not hearing your messages from your angels. Also, enough sleep. You need to be getting enough sleep at night, not just drinking a bunch of Red Bulls. Especially if you're a water element, water is very cleansing to you, especially taking baths or going out in the ocean. Being present in the moment is also an energy giver, but you definitely need to tap into your energy givers. Now's to receive. It's time for you to receive. You don't have to deplete yourself. And Spirit is saying Isaiah 40:29, he gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. So definitely check in with your spirit team. You're about to get upgraded in your light code, but you need to get into meditation and check in with your angels. I'm also hearing from my collective out there that Archangel Michael is with you right now. He knows the spiritual warfare that you're going through. I'm hearing to do an egg cleanse out there. You guys can look that up. But make sure you're returning that energy back to Cinder. If you want to transmute it and all that, you can, or just simply send it back. Because my thought process is, if you were big enough to send it to me, you're big enough to receive it right back. Okay? Because I don't have to add anything mean to it, but I am gonna just, transmute it and send it right back to you. And that law of karma, you get what you put out, right? I am spiritually protected from all who wish me harm. I am physically protected from all ill will that may have a negative effect on my safety and well-being. My pictures on social media platforms are and can't be used for spell work. I am divinely protected, and so it is. Amen. You can repeat that. You can rewind this if you'd like and repeat that, but definitely you have Archangel Michael helping you clear out all that negative energy. Just don't accept it. You need to also say, I do not accept this energy. And when you start feeling sad or weird, don't just immediately go beat yourself up, because you've done that for so many years and it's just an automatic response. But you need to get out of that automatic response and really start being mindful of, is this my energy? Am I going to accept this? And where is this energy coming from? What spirits am I talking to? Are they on my team, or are they on, the darkness team? You got to just take a moment. That's where it's slow down. It's not as crazy as the 3D world. There's no competition here. It's just about paying attention and getting to know yourself. I'm hearing somebody out there is a natural born entrepreneur, and you're also a natural born astrologist. It's time to start a brand. Get you've been thinking of a product to get out there, or maybe a podcast, but you need to get out there. multiple streams of income, I'm hearing, and to make a vision board. Spirit's saying that they're getting their karma. Bad karma comes in threes, and you're coming to a conclusion to your karmic cycle. But you need to get away from this karmic energy. The hand of God is about to come through, and you don't want to be there and accidentally get swiped. So, no U-turns right now. You need to leave your past in the past. It was there for a lesson. You're coming to into your blessings. I'm also hearing there's a certified meditation healer out there. Important, the law of agreement. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity and say what you mean, and avoid using your word for gossip, especially if you are a healer, meditation healer. You want to make sure you're always speaking your truth, especially if it's channeled messages. We have a problem with that with karmic readers, so but use your word in the direction of truth and love. Be mindful of vulgarities and a firm word. So if you're a healer, it is hard for us where I hear people say this is part of my personality, but then that goes back to that is part of your toxic personality that feels validated, because in the toxic shadows, nobody's listening to you unless you're cussing them out. Because I used to cuss people out, and it's simply to command my authority. But in the world of success, you don't have to command your authority by cussing people out, because most people won't deal with you. If all they hear, they'll tune you out and they'll stop listening to you. 111 as I say that. That's really powerful, guys. So you guys can do whatever you want. There's plenty of people that cuss out there and have been super successful. But it is when you're speaking those words out there, they're negative words. So it's an energy. Think of it as an energy, because pride is going to tell you, I can do what I want and I can cuss all I want. But when you do that, you're cutting yourself off. I'm telling you. So you can do that. But do you want to cut yourself out of thousands of millions of dollars? Why do you think rappers like Lil Wayne have edited versions? Because they want to make it to mainstream, and you can't do that cussing. Okay? And that's why they get played on the radios. That's why you can't cuss on TV. That's why you have to go get the real stuff. So think about that when you want to tell people because I understand that argument, and it does seem valid. But when you start thinking about it, that is not coming from a higher self perspective. That is more coming from an ego perspective, because again, that is not something that's for your highest good. It ends up blocking your throat chakra, because you got to look at it as not the words or you being able to do something. Because if you could do anything in the world, and you knew all this information, you probably wouldn't curse. I stopped cursing when I started learning how big words are, and a lot of times we're cursing ourselves with these words that we say. So do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, it's something that took me. I would like to be successful in all arenas, and not just because I want to say the F word, to be taken out of those arenas. And that's why when you're more doing like lives, if you want to curse on your personal product, but I feel if you want people to listen to you on a bigger level, Spirit saying that be mindful. It's not selling out. I keep hearing that it's not selling out. People say that, well, those are the same broke people that are scrounging around for some change and asking you to take them somewhere because they don't have a car. Just remember where your guidance is coming from, Spirit saying. So I'm hearing something about the Northeast, Northwest, North United States. You either have an opportunity coming up, or there's maybe a retreat coming there that you should go to if you live there or if you see it. Definitely that's in the New Hampshire. I'm hearing North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, Maine. And then I'm hearing prayer and meditation will solve it. So somebody's angel baby came back in. I have an angel baby in heaven, and I love it when she pops in. But I definitely hear that you Your angel baby loves you, and they're sending you a lot of butterflies today. So if you walk around, you're going to find a lot of pennies, and you're going to see a lot of butterflies. So it's time to, Spirit saying it's time to rise up and rise and shine and wake up that third eye. Know that you're an intuitive person and you know what's right for you. Your third eye is open and ready to fully see your purpose now. Repeat, I am an intuitive person. I trust my intuition. It never fails me. I am ready to clearly view all aspects of my life. And so it is. Amen. Thank you so much, beautiful souls, for being here today. Let me go ahead and give you the letters. And the song is from Leslie Gore, Sunshine, Sunshine and Lollipops and dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's off of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. So that is the song that came in. The letters are IMFK. USDRBKRG, Linda, Marie, Shannon, Vicky, and then I heard Molina, Sandy Hook. So maybe there's a Sandy Hook, somebody out there, survivor. Cheryl, Steve, Naomi, my condolences to you, by the way. Chris, Matt, John, Sally, Sunny, and Joe. I don't know if that's somebody's celly, like somebody's going to jail and they're going to be seeing their celly, or the celly phone. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. God loves you. I love you. Your angels love you. Make sure you give today out of the kindness of your heart, and you will definitely receive that back. Love and light, beautiful souls.